South Downs Way is a 100-mile national trail from Winchester in Hampshire to Eastbourne in East Sussex. The trail passes through woodland, quaint villages, Roman roads, ridgeways, misty valleys and the spectacular Seven Sisters Cliffs. Join me as I attempt to tackle this trail solo in 5 sunny autumnal days. Well, come on then. Good morning everybody and welcome to the South Downs Way, the second half. After the exploits of the last 2 days and after I left you guys at a bus stop yesterday, my body just completely seized up. My hips were hurting, my knees were hurting, my thighs, my calves, my feet, my shins, everything ached. And I was in bed by 8:30, sound asleep. Woke up again about 6 this morning, feeling a bit better, had a lay in, had breakfast. I'm on coffee number 3 of the day and I feel like I'm ready to go again. Let's go get this bus after this coffee. Well, here we are once again at the picturesque bus stop by the dual carriageway. We are heading back on the South Downs Way. Woo! River Ada, 6 miles away. Right, so we've just walked up the hill a short way from where it said River Ada is 6 miles away, and now it's saying 6.5 miles. Make it make sense. Nothing quite like a steep climb to start the walk. Unfortunately, that is the nature of South Downs Way. Each segment is where you're coming down off a hill, and then the next segment will start with going up a hill. Up on the hills. It's another beautiful day, walking on the grass to save my feet. If you walk along the gravel for that 400 miles, your feet are going to be very sore by the end of it. We're just coming up to our first place of interest, this copse of trees here. It's called Chanctonbury Ring, very historic place. They found Roman temples here, and before that an Iron Age hill fort. And there's a lot of local legends about this place, very mythical place. And one of those legends is that if you run around it anti-clockwise, some say you have to be naked, some say you don't, up to you. If you run around 7 times anti-clockwise, naked or not naked, you summon the devil. And the devil will offer you a bowl of soup in exchange for your soul. Sounds like a pretty bad deal to me, but that's the legend. Another one is that if you're female and you sleep amongst the trees there, you'll become more fertile. Now, whether you believe in all this supernatural mumbo jumbo, hocus pocus, whatever you want to call it, you have to admit it's a pretty spectacular place. Not just the copse of trees, but the views northwards, right up until you can see the North Downs there on the horizon. On a clear day you can see all the way to Gatwick Airport. And looking south is a bit difficult in the haze, but over there is the sea and my house about 5 miles south. Being a local lad for the last 8 years or so, I do have my own story about Chanctonbury Ring as well. Now, I used to work with this bloke called Tony, who claimed to be a wizard. Now again, if you believe in that or not, it's up to you, you know. He used to take his stories with a pinch of salt. He used to tell us he'd travelled through time. He used to tell us that he could type something out, and whatever he typed out, for example, I'm touching the inside of your leg, that kind of thing, that's one of the less explicit things he used to tell us. They would feel it, so he types out touching your leg, presses enter, and they can feel hands going up their leg. Yeah, pretty creepy, I know. Most of what he said we just used to ignore, we used to laugh about it and then forget about it. However, there was one time we were on the train together and there was a woman sat there sort of just looking out the window but occasionally peering over towards us, and he whispered to me, he said, "That woman's a witch." I was like, right, okay, cheers Tony. And then just as she was getting off the train, she came over and said, "I know who you are." I went, "Yeah, I know who you are as well." And then she said, "You're a wizard, aren't you?" I went, "Yeah, and I know what you are as well." And then she just got off the train looking quite concerned, quite scared actually. He just sort of stared at her like he was facing down her bad magic, her bad juju. And that was probably the creepiest moment I've ever had in my life. And I asked him, "How did you know she was a witch?" And he said, "I read her mind and I could see her running naked anti-clockwise around Chanctonbury Ring." Absolutely spectacular. I love it up here. We've got a nice leisurely 10-mile walk today. Just an afternoon stroll really, from Washington to Devil's Dyke, where I'm looking to camp tonight. So, as we've got a bit of time on our hands, you know what that means. It means we can do more of these walking past the camera shot. One thing the South Downs Way isn't good for is tree bagging. All the tree points seem to be like this one, the other side of a barbed wire fence. So South Downs Way is a farm landscape. That means there's no public land, it's all private. What isn't farms is National Trust. So it means wild camping is a bit more difficult than it would be, say, on the West Highland Way or even the Pennine Way. But where there's a will, there's a way. See what I did there? Over there off to the right, that's Sisbury Ring. That's kind of like Chanctonbury Ring's sister Iron Age hill fort, but it's a lot bigger. And you've got fantastic views down to the sea over Worthing from there. Look at these cute piggies. No, I can't feed you, not allowed. Look at their little homes, like little tin igloos. Oh, don't smell too great. Okay, here's where the men stay. Surely that piddly bit of fence isn't enough to keep them inside. Oh, we've got a couple of lovebirds, look. Oh. Okay, maybe not. So the mothers and the piglets get these nice, I say nice, it's all relative, isn't it? These nice tinned igloos and the big troughs, nobody competing. Then you got the like the kids, the younger ones, the kindergarten over here. Look like they're digging a trench trying to get out. And then you've got the unruly, the teenagers there. Still further up, you get the adults. Sorry guys, this South Downs Way hike has turned into a bit of a shit version of Clarkson's Farm. Let's get back on track. One last look at the little piggies. So just ahead of us is the bridge taking us across the River Ada onto the other side. If you're running low on provisions, head up there. Upper Beeding is the nearest, I'm not sure if it's a town or a village, small town, large village. It's got a pub and shops and whatever else you might need. Just 4.5 miles to go to Devil's Dyke. It's probably a good thing. My shin pain has returned with a vengeance. Coming down off that hill after the piggery, yeah, it just kind of, it feels like I've got a twisted ankle. So I'm just hobbling along for now, and hopefully it'll be better in the morning after a rest. Well, that's a long old slog out of Upper Beeding. It's just one of those where it's just gradual and it kind of goes on forever. Still almost at the top now, and that's our last climb of the day. Alright, I do love a good map. So here's where we started, Winchester, Beacon Hill, that's where we had the views down towards Southampton, the Isle of Wight, Old Winchester Hill, Butser Hill, Queen Elizabeth Country Park, Heighton Down, that's where we camped that first night. That place, remember that one. Bignor Hill, that's where the old Roman signs are. Amberley, the dreaded Amberley. Chanctonbury Ring here, so that's Washington where we started today. And here we are. This place says Falking, everyone, Falking it's called. And Devil's Dyke. And after that we've got Ditchling Beacon. And South East, oh yeah, there's another youth hostel there, I forgot about that one. That's where we're going to be finishing tomorrow afternoon, before the final push through Alfriston and the Cookmere. That's Cookmere River, Seven Sisters, Beachy Head, and finally Eastbourne, 100 miles later. Now I'm still on Truly Hill. It's turning into one of those moody afternoons. Some interesting views down here. Brighton off there in the distance. You can see the donut on a stick by the West Pier, the I-360. Behind us, we've got a nuclear bunker, decommissioned many years ago, and now being used as a radio transmitter. Apparently you used to be able to get in there and have a look around, but all secured up now. So today's the 1st of October, and I was hoping by now it'd look a bit more seasonal, a bit more autumnal in terms of the leaves changing colour, but that's not the case, probably because of the Indian summer we've had this year. However, what I have noticed is these hawthorn berries are extremely red. I don't know why, but extra red this year. And the winner of the world's most predictable bit of graffiti goes to... That wind just got up and the temperature dropped very quickly. I wasn't expecting that. We've got an hour till sunset still, but it certainly feels like autumn now. There's something about these dramatic skies, bleak, with the crows crowing. It's very atmospheric. Down there, the small village of Falking. So up here just ahead of us is the Devil's Dyke pub and car park. I believe that's around that area is where the bus drops you off. There's an open top bus that runs during the summer, drops off the tourists up here, and there's also a bunker there which I'll show you in a little while. This is what most people think the Devil's Dyke is, this sort of sloping bit here. But the dyke itself is actually like a crevice which is behind the pub, which I'll show you shortly. So when we get around the corner here, I'll show you the bunker, and then we'll head behind the pub into the crevice of the dyke, and then that's where we will be bedding down for the night. Alright, just coming up to the bunker now. Just before we get there, have a look at this. Glorious views. Oh, there's people in the bunker right now. How dare they? I'll tell you about it. It's World War II bunker, but it wasn't used for combat reasons or defence. It was used to store documents, files. It's only got 2 windows. So not much left of it, not in the greatest condition, but it's good if you want to get out of the wind for a bit. Unfortunately there's no flat areas where you can camp there. So at 6 o'clock, I think I've got about 40 minutes till sunset, so most people will be leaving soon. This is quite a well-renowned area for dogging, or cruising I think is the term they use nowadays. So don't be hanging around here after dark. So this is the Devil's Copse, and just beyond here is the giant crevice I was telling you about. And this is it, the Devil's Dyke. This crevice here formed thousands of years ago during the Ice Age by glaciers, and I can smell someone smoking weed. Oh, just up there. So you can walk all the way around here. We're not going to do that today. I think 100 miles is enough. So we're going to head back to the area in front of the pub and watch the sunset. Well guys, hope you enjoyed the sunset. It's getting dark now, so it's time to find somewhere to camp. I was actually thinking the other side of this bunker here, but it's in full sight of the pub. Looks a lot darker and a lot more foreboding now at the Devil's Copse. And here we are again, back out in the crevice of the dyke. There's still a few people milling about, so I'm not going to get set up yet. Basically we can, I know you can't see it very well, but there's a footpath all around, and we can camp pretty much anywhere once the sun's gone properly down. Or we can go camp in the copse. Right guys, I haven't found anywhere to camp just yet, but I found somewhere to relax. I'm just going to sit on this little table here, not far from the pub. Unfortunately it's getting very dark very early at the moment. It's only just gone 7 o'clock and I'm not really ready to rest yet, so I'm gonna just chill out on this table here, and then I'll find somewhere flat to camp. By then it'll be pitch black, so there's no point in me showing you until the morning. I'm gonna clock off now and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, apologies for the low lighting. I decided to camp here in the copse last night, as you can see. Please say I didn't get visited in the night by any devils, any doggers, witches nor wizards, but I did have to deal with this. In spite of that, I managed to get to sleep about 10:30. Slept through most of the night. It's a bit of general forest noise, but it wasn't too bad. Bit of a misty morning, as you can see. I'm gonna get packed up now. We're gonna have some breakfast. Yeah, so I wouldn't camp here again, guys. I mean, usually if it's not this misty and you get a nice view here, but it was just too noisy, too many people coming and going, lots of noise from the pub, the car park, and this morning I got woken up by the recycling lorry coming to get the bottles. So just getting a brew going. I've got breakfast, the 2 bananas, and I've got peanut butter and chocolate spread wraps there. Yummy. Right, we're leaving the copse now. It started to rain a little bit back there, so I've got the raincoat on. So we've got about 18-19 miles to do today, guys, and then our final day, about a similar amount, and we'll be done. It's an absolute whiteout over here, look at it. So 5 miles away from Brighton, but our next landmark is a Ditchling beacon. In hindsight, perhaps this side of the Dyke would have been better for camping. It certainly would have been quieter. A bit too early in the morning, but this is a cafe and a B&B. Yeah, I've got a campsite somewhere out the back as well, somewhere around here. Also handily, just here, they have a tap. Be eclectic here, guys, look at this. Smile, it's fun. Please don't let me get shot. Bay Tree Cottage. Best of all, go home and get naked. Almost at the top of the first big climb of the day. Quite a gradual one, went on for a while. You see the down that we've come off of, it's shrouded in mist now. I do love the way the wind sort of warps the tree. It kind of looks like Ben Stiller's hair in There's Something About Mary, but sideways. Well, usually at this point of the walk you'd have sweeping views of Hove and Brighton, but not today, not in these conditions. Here we have the main road from Brighton to London, the A23, and if you're desperate for provisions, there's a garage down there. Extremely quiet out here today, guys. It's a Monday morning, a grey, typical Monday morning in October. It's very warm though. It's not cold at all, surprisingly. First of many dew ponds today. These are artificial ponds that are made to feed the livestock or water the livestock. I can't show you the scenery because of the weather, so I'm showing you ponds instead. I told you it's warm. He's running along with his shirt off. And here we are, Ditchling Beacon car park. On a nice sunny day, you'll find an ice cream van up here. Today is not one of those days. Just down there, that shiny thing, I'll zoom in, is the Amex Community Stadium, the home of Brighton and Hove Albion. People have got to put their hands on that, you know. Now what are you doing? Having a scratch? Oh, that looks good. Now going to give the gate a good tongue in again. Pink pit stop. So called because of the colour of its benches. Like so. But there's loads of construction work going on up there. It's not the most relaxing place to have a break. Well, it's starting to clear up a little bit now. It's not vintage, but we've still got some alright views of down to Plumpton College. Well, it's brightened up a little bit at least, guys. I'm just about to see Kingston Windmill over there. Apart from that, I literally can't see a single soul all around. We have around 8 miles till Southeast. Just down the bottom here is the A27, so we've got to get across that up the other side. That's going to be our last big hill of day 4. The left ankle was pretty sore again. It seems to hurt more going downhill than it does up. I think because there's more impact on it. We're making good time though, so I can afford to take it pretty easy, and tonight I'll strap it up and take a couple of painkillers, ready for the last leg tomorrow. Well, the sun has burnt through all the clouds and it is again a glorious day. Had some really good weather on this hike. Lovely bit of ridge walking here. It looks like we just follow this ridge along here and then we head down into Southeast. A nice long descent. Here we have a nice view of Kingston, not Jamaica, not upon Thames, but Kingston near Lewes. Lewes being up here. You can just about see the castle if I zoom in. And just here in front of us we've got New Haven. No, not there, that's a slag heap. Over there is New Haven. I'm only joking, New Haven, I love you really. New Haven, Seaford, the Seven Sisters. So we are crossing from the western into the eastern half of the world. Exciting stuff. I like stuff like this. I've got an old photo somewhere that I'll show you where I'm stood right about there. I'll see if I can dig it out. These are the kind of informative signs we need more of. To the pub. Feels like summer, folks, it really does. Oh wow, look at this. Green and black caterpillar. Oh, it fell over. On its tail. Looks like it's got a nasty sting on it. We're on home straight now, guys, not far from Southeast. It's turned into a glorious afternoon. It's hard to believe that it's October. It's like a summer's day. It's 21 degrees out here. Lovely sunshine, absolutely beautiful. So here in Southeast, you've got 2 nightclubs, you've got a casino, multiplex cinema, no, not really. You've got pretty much, this is it, the church and a few houses, and just over here a train station, and the other side a youth hostel. I want to tap, don't forget the tap. Look at this, guys, October, and there's people swimming in the river. Not sure I'd swim in there, it looks a bit murky for my liking. So this is the River Ouse. Heads that way to New Haven. This way up to Lewis and Haywards Heath and beyond. So here we are guys, we made it. The deserted station of South Ease. I'm the only one here. Train arrives in 10 minutes. It's been a pretty brutal day today, I'm not going to lie. My left ankle is sore. Tomorrow is the final day, and for my money, it's the best day. We're going to be hiking up over towards Alfriston, over the Downs, along Cookmere River, Cookmere Haven, and then along the Seven Sisters into Eastbourne. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Boom, here we are back in South Ease, day 5 and the final day of the South Downs Way hike. Let's do this. Well, come on then. So I've opted to bring the poles again with me today, guys. I think they'll help with the old ankle problem. It seems to be okay at the moment, but we don't know how it's going to behave later on. I've gone for a change of footwear, mainly because the boots I was wearing up until now are absolutely humming. I don't know why, but they absolutely stink. And you know it's not a good sign when you get on the train and the girl comes and sits next to you and immediately sprays perfume everywhere. So a bit of a steep start to the day. We kind of switch back there, a zigzaggy path, so it's not too brutal. But now we're up on the ridge and we can just enjoy it all the way till the descent into Alfriston in about 5 or 6 miles time. A trig point there for you baggers out there. There's one for you tea baggers out there. It sure is breezy up here, folks. Just heading into the village of Alfriston. I've got a pub here called the Star. I've got one ahead of us, can't actually remember the name of that one. That one's called the George Inn apparently. And you can see it's a very picturesque little village. There's a Star. So this is where the South Downs Way splits in two at the end of this bridge. There's 2 different routes to the finish line. Now listen to me very carefully. There's one way via Jevington, and that's the bridle way. If you've got a bike you have to head down that way. Then there's the footpath down via Exeter. That's the way over the Seven Sisters. That is the way you want to go. That's the scenic way. If you go via Jevington you're missing out on the best bit. However, today the footpath is closed, so we can't get down on this bank. So I think we can get down on the other bank and be able to cross the river later on. We're going to have to try that anyway, because I'm not going via Jevington and we can't get down this way. And last look back at Alfriston. Let's carry on. I think I can see a grey heron there in the distance. Zoom in. Can you see him? Staying very still. How about now? Can you see him? See if we can get any closer. How about now? You can definitely see him now. There he goes. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but as well as being sunny, it's currently raining just a little bit. And we've got a bridge just down there, which hopefully take us back onto the side we want to be on. Well, that worked out absolutely fine. We're in the quaint hamlet of Litlington now. Just down there, that white building, that's the Plough and Harrow pub. Comes recommended. I do like it in there. We are continuing on the South Downs way, this way. Hey there, so please keep to the country code, bloody blah. Emergency number for horses only. If horses are caught in a fence or injured, not just sleeping or swishing their tails. There, spelt wrong. Over there on the side of the cliff is the mysterious Litlington white horse. I'll zoom in for you. Hopefully you can see it. Nobody seems to know how or why it was put there. Been there over 100 years. Now walking through Friston Forest. Great place for a cheeky wild camp here. So there's the River Cuckmere, weaving its way down to the sea. There, and on the left is the beginning of the Seven Sisters. So just over there is the Seven Sisters Visitor Centre, and there's the bus stop going back to Brighton. This is where all the tourists from Brighton come to. Here's the bus coming here going towards Eastbourne. So 3 3/4 miles to Berlin Gap, we head up this way. There's the aforementioned tourist bus. I swear I'm cursed by the Seven Sisters National Park. Every time I come up here, it says the weather's going to be alright or decent, and it's raining already. I've literally just got here and boom, straight away rain and wind. Hopefully it'll brighten up soon. Either cursed by the Seven Sisters, or maybe it's the witches of Chancebury Ring. I'll tell you what guys, these 5 days have improved my stamina no end. It's amazing the difference. Like obviously because of the weather, I'm bombing up here a bit faster than I usually would, but I'm not getting as out of breath as I usually would. Usually I'd be struggling by now, you know, halfway up here I'd be panting pretty hard, but used to it now. Best thing about it being a windy day is the weather changes very quickly. Here we go again, back to sunshine. There's the Cuckmere Beach. Camped behind that cliff there, and that was on a video last year. And on top of this cliff here, that video will be coming out soon. And here they are, the Seven Sisters. It's windy out here. That looks like it's just about ready to go. Just coming up to Berlin Gap now. A sign back there says we've got 4.5 miles to Eastbourne. There's a little cafe here, a tap, toilets. So this is another area popular with the tourists. As you can see, there's a car park down there, there's the bus stop down there as well. Here they all are taking pictures. Not far to go now, folks. 2 or 3 miles. It's got the beachy head lighthouse there ahead of us. And this, I believe, is our last big steep climb. And here we have our first view of the finish line. Eastbourne there. Well, that's the end of the cliff walking. Back down to sea level now. Well, it's been a strange last mile or so on this one. I haven't seen a soul since I came down off the cliff. So this is the first time I've vlogged a national trail or any kind of multi-day sort of through hike that actually exists that I haven't made up myself. So I've tried to do it a little bit differently and include some practical information in with the vlog. So hopefully that's worked out okay. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. Look at this football pitch, love it. Look how wonky it is. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because the GoPro has the horizon leveling, but you'll want to be shooting that way in the second half, that is for sure. Oh bloody hell, there's always one last sting in the tail, isn't there? One more climb. Now this might sound silly after 5 days walking, but I genuinely feel so much fitter after all this hiking. I feel like a walking machine right now. One more piddly little hill, that's nothing. That all seems so unnecessary. We're up on the bloody cliffs again. Well, these last 5 days have been through the full range of emotions. Trepidation, apprehension, nervousness, excitement, joy, elation, frustration, tiredness, lots of tiredness, pain, plenty of pain as well. But the overriding sensation now is one of a sense of achievement, of accomplishment and pride, because we're finally here. We've done it. 100 miles in 5 days. This is the end, beautiful friend. Where's the welcoming committee? Where's the champagne? Here's a sign up here. South Downs Way National Trail, Eastbourne, Winchester, 100 miles. We've done it. Smashed it. Well guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Unfortunately, it's not the end of my walking. I've got to get to the town centre to get the train, which is about 1.5 miles away. I'll see you soon for the next adventure. Cheers.